gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Richmond Raceway for the HCK Beagles Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series. As these drivers are ready to rumble here from Richmond, Virginia, we get ready to set you guys loose for a little bit of qualifying action as practice coming to a close here. Practice just coming to an end. Drivers will jump out onto the racetrack. They'll try to lay down their best lap time possible out there on the racetrack. And, you know, anything can happen and anyone can put themselves into the best position possible. We're going to see a lot of different drivers, a lot of different trucks trying to work themselves to the front of the field here throughout the evening. It's going to be a long race. It's going to be a very technical race. These are going to be a little bit tighter corners. It's a short track, so you got to be very, very cautious on where your surrounding drivers are out there, where you can make some moves, where you got to be a little bit cautious getting in and around. And we've seen a lot of carnage here at Richmond Raceway in the past, so these guys are going to have to be on their tippy toes right from the drop of the green flag right down to the checkered flag as we get ready to set them loose. We get ready to go to battle here in just a few more moments as these drivers will jump out onto the racetrack for qualifying. We'll see who can put themselves into that pole position, who can put themselves into the best position possible here on the evening as we'll get ready. See who's going to get that top spot, who's going to be able to start on the front row. We do see Frank Ranger Jr. jumping out there on the speedway in his Ranger Creative Concepts number 17 ride. Frank looking for a big run here out of that 17 ride as right now Daniel Dow with that top spot here in qualifying. A 21.74 puts him at the front of the field in the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 2 machine. Lapidus jumps out onto the racetrack here. He's going to get ready for his run in qualifying. We see Brandon Ming also rolling down the back straightaway in the Interstate Batteries number 77. Dennis Steele in the Monster Energy number 28 ride jumping out onto the racetrack as Nathan Nixon will slot into position number 2 here on the timesheets in that 33 ride. Another Sparkle and Shine car towards the front of the field. Yo, Johnny Nolan. Johnny coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Mr. Nolan? Johnny coming in, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast. How are you, Mr. Nolan? As Jacob Groob to the top of the speed charts. Michael's Warrior Project number 18 ride, quickest here in qualifying. There's still a lot of other drivers left to get their lap times in. We'll see if he can get a little quicker on lap number 2 or if he's kind of just turn it in. He's going to turn it right down pit side here. He's going to call it there on that note, and he's going to get knocked off the top spot. Chris Gilbert in the 45 ride. The Jegs.com machine will jump into the top spot here in this qualifying session, a 21.61. Out of that 45 ride, a blazing hot fast lap time as we do see the Napa Auto Parts number 16, Nick Gardner out there. He's currently sitting in that 3rd spot. Michael Madden up into 8th. Brian Peterson in the Ridge Powersports 469 ride. Going to go across the line there in the 9th spot here, so 9th quickest on the racetrack. The HendrickCars.com number 5 of Nicholas Snyder looking for a big run out of quarter number 4. Gets a little loose there, able to keep that car pointed in the right direction, and he'll jump to the top of the speed charts. So Nicholas Snyder now with the quick time here in qualifying. Kevin Winker, can he get a little quicker? Here on lap number 2, down across the line, he does find a little extra speed. Jumps up inside the top 5 is Robert McDonald, the 31 truck. Big run here for that Juke joint number 31. Right as Robert Blair, Jonathan Herbert out there on the speedway, Joe Burnell out there as well in his 14 ride. We're still waiting for a few more drivers to jump out onto the racetrack as Brian Chu, he's going to lay down a good lap time up into 12th here for the beautiful number 51 machine. Jonathan Herbert there in 16th. See if he get this Ridge Powersports number 87 ride rolling a little closer. Looks like he is going to pull it down to the apron here on lap number 2. So not the qualifying run he was hoping for. The 75 ride going to try it all over again here for that number 75. See if he can find a little extra speed on lap number 2 as Jason LePan rolling out onto the speedway. Here comes another Michael's Warrior Project ride. Still got Gregory Turner, Andrew Hainsley, Derek Rowdy Puckett, Kyle Van Tassel, and Austin Gustafson still waiting to qualify here. So we'll have to wait and see where those drivers can slot themselves in as qualifying quickly. Coming to a close, the 75 ride going to come down and across the line. We'll see where he's going to slot in here if he finds a little extra speed. Doesn't look like it. And Jason LePan up there on the speedway. We'll see where LePan kind of slides in here. The 20 machine up into 12th here, just a little bit shy of trying to work himself inside the top 10 as he'll keep on rolling. See if he can get a little quicker on lap number 2 as we'll get ready to jump up into the broadcast booth here. Let's see if we can pull what could potentially be our pole position driver here, the number 57 ride of Nicholas Snyder. I'm not sure where Nick is on the speedway here or in this chat. I do see an M and an N. I do see Nathan Nixon. Assuming that's Nicholas Snyder. All right, we're going to pull Nicholas Snyder, our pole sitter, here into the broadcast booth. This qualifying coming to a close. We will get ready to pull him up into the broadcast booth here as I believe they're going through a little in-race pre-race kind of command right now from our officials. Our admins going through some of the stuff. We do see a couple drivers still out there. The 9 ride, the half and half, Arnold Palmer. The Arnie Palmy ride out there on the speedway. That's Austin Gustafson rolling here again as Nelson Johns coming in with that like on the stream. Bryce Richardson coming in with that like on the stream. Frank Ranger coming in with that thumbs up as well. Says, gonna be rough tonight, brother. No, it's not. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And we're going to see some great racing here on the evening. Dimitri says, boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, Dimitri. Yes, Sirski, you know it. Boogity, boogity, boogity is right. As we'll see if we can pull our pole sitter here as Austin Gustafson jumps up into the 5th spot. Nicholas Snyder, quick time here in this qualifying session for the HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here at Richmond International Speedway. See if we can pull this 5 ride, the HendrickCars.com machine, up into the booth. As there we go, we do see drivers starting to leave. Hey, Nicholas, this is Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Nick, man, a good run, a good drive here. You're going to be starting in that pole position, man. Take us through, your thoughts going into this race, knowing that you have a very stacked field of drivers back there behind you. How do you got to tackle this first part of this race? How do you keep these drivers back there behind you, and how do you kind of, game plan to try to keep yourself here in position number 1 throughout the evening?
The way that the truck's handling right now, I'm not really used to it, prior to, I guess, the new update and whenever that was. But these trucks used to be tight, and now they're kind of loose. So just be patient and, just try to keep everybody behind you. I think track positions are going to be key tonight just because it's going to be hard to pass, especially on equalized tires. I think the only time that you don't probably see passes is probably on new tires versus old tires. And who can manage the right front and right rear the most to have the most drive.
Absolutely. Now, you talked about managing tires and everything else, and we see a lot of racetracks where tires become a huge aspect of things out there on the speedway. When it comes to tire fall off, when do we normally see that here on a run? How many laps do you guys need to really run before these tires become an issue?
It depends how hard you push. If you slide them, you're going to see fall off pretty quickly. Probably around 10, 15 laps. I did a quick practice run and, took me about 15 laps just to fall off. So I just think, if you can keep all 4 wheels underneath you and not slide them, I think you'd be in pretty good shape.
Absolutely. That's what everyone's going to be trying to do, and hopefully not too many caution flags. Hopefully everything stays clean and green out there on the speedway. But when it comes to those green flag pit stops, take us through a green flag pit stop here at Richmond. It's pretty tight down there into that pit entry, and can definitely, make for some interesting, give or take out there on the racetrack from, getting down to pit road speed or making those mistakes, and how quickly you can go multiple laps down here at Richmond.
Yeah, this pit road, it's actually fun to me because you can be aggressive, but it can also bite you in the butt, But there's so much time to be made on pit road as well by attacking it. Most people kind of take it easy and and stuff. But there's also a lot of time to be, like I said, being gained. But it can come with the consequence of getting that pit road speed limit. But I think that's the first run. I'm just gonna see how everybody does pitting and see how hard they're attacking. And when we make our second and third stop, I'll see how aggressive I can be.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes down to making that call to come down pit road, do you think you're going to be aggressive with that? Do you think you're going to be one of those first drivers to end up down pit side to try to use those fresh tires to your advantage, or do you think you're going to wait a little bit here, maybe try to run the stages out a little longer, see if you can kind of save an extra set for late in this race?
It all depends on how much of a gap I have between second place. If we're tight, obviously you want to be the first person down pit road, just so you don't lose that track position. But if you got 5, 6, 8 second lead, I don't think it's gonna hurt to stay out a couple more laps because it'll pay off in the end.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there, and congratulations on picking up that pole position here in the HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here at Richmond International Speedway. And hopefully we'll see you right up here, possibly in the broadcast booth, possibly in victory lane here later on this evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and good luck.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up right there for our pole sitter, Nicholas Snyder, as Nicholas getting that quick time here in qualifying, putting himself on the front row. Will start in that pole position, and that will set him up for what could be a very big day here at the Speedway. As you want to make sure you don't make those mistakes down pit side. You want to make sure that you kind of keep yourself out of trouble, and sometimes the best way to do it is being here at the front of the field. As all the carnage and mayhem may unfold back there behind you, you can stay clean and green away from it and keep yourself out of trouble out there on the Speedway. As qualifying has come to a close here, that means we will get ready to rock and roll for our A main feature event. 175 laps of racing action here from Richmond Raceway. Now, don't let that scare you away, as that is a lot of laps, a ton of corners here, and a ton of action on the evening for these drivers. It is going to be a ton of fun. We're going to have an absolute blast here in the broadcast booth, giving you guys all the action on the Speedway. As they get loaded into the sim, ready to rock and roll. We just talked to him. It is the 71, or the number 5 ride. It scored as the 57, but the 5 machine, the HendrickCars.com ride, that is Nicholas Snyder, who will start in this pole position, man. That is a big run and a big start here for that number 5 machine. Sorry about that, chat. I had to sneeze real quick. Yo, Neil, my boy Neil coming in, showing the love over there on Twitch. Coming in, says, not a very good qualifying session for me in the 26. Neil, Mr. Lapidus. Hey, brother, sometimes, it's all about the long game, you just gotta be patient, work yourself through the field. Is Neil coming in with the 50 bits as well, coming in with the 50 biddies over there on the Twitch stream. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the big love, the big flex with those 50 bits, the donation over there on that Twitch broadcast. As Brett Winker coming in as well, says, let's go Winker, hashtag Winker Nation, cheering on Kevin Winker out there on the Speedway as we go through our starting order. Starting on the pole, once again, is that number 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder to his outside. The 45, that is Chris Gilbert. Starting in position number 3 in the 18, that is Jacob Grubin to his outside. In the 16 ride, that is Nick Gardner. Starting in position number 5 in the Arnold Palmer half and half, number 9, that is Austin Gustafson, and to his outside. In the 20 ride, that is Jason LePan. Kevin Winker will start in the 7th position. He has got the Sparkle and Shine 2 ride of Daniel down to his outside. Starting in inside row number 5, it is the 15 ride of Michael Madden. He's got Dennis Steele to his outside, rounding out our top 10. Brandon May, Nathan Nixon, Brian Chu, Robert McDonald, Neil Lapidus, Ryan Peterson, Jonathan Herbert, Joe Burnell, Robert Blair, Frank Ranger Jr., Garrett Brownie Puckett, Kyle Van Tessel, Gregory Turner, Andrew Ainsley bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here at Richmond Raceway. Out in front, Nicholas Snyder leading the way here down across the line will lead lap number 1. So quickly, Snyder out in front looking to try to use this fresh air to his advantage, trying to lead the rest of the field back here in his rear view mirror as he's got Chris Gilbert right there trying to stick with him. A great qualifying run for Gilbert as well. Good to see Nicholas and Chris both getting some great starts here on the evening and what could potentially be some very, very important runs for them early in this season. Nick Gardner right there in third as well in that Napa Auto Parts number 16 ride with Jacob Groom back there behind him. Austin Gustafson there in fifth trying to hold off the 2 riders. We did see Kevin Winker running into issues. No caution flag as of yet as the 42 slowed down the back straightaway here. Looks like some pretty good damage on that 42 ride. Let's take a look here and see what happened to Kevin Winker as I do believe off corner number 2. He's going to shoot down the racetrack towards that inside wall. I'm not sure if there was contact. Yeah, it does look like contact between him and Dennis Steele, and there's that contact into the inside fence. He gets stopped on the racetrack down on the bottom side. Fortunately for him, no caution flag on the speedway. We keep it clean and keep on rolling. Now he's going to have to try to battle back from deep in this field as he's sitting in the 20th position now on the speedway as Kyle Van Tassel there behind, or right there in front of him in the Ridge Powersports number 13 ride. Joe Burnell a little farther forward there as well. So he's going to have his work cut out for him as out in front, Nicholas Snyder continuing to lay down some great lap times, but sticking right there with them is Chris Gilbert. Gilbert not letting go of the back bumper of this 5 ride, not letting him disappear yet in this one, but now it's going to become a big, big question as we see these drivers starting to spread out a little bit more. These drivers starting to open up a little bit of gap between each other on the speedway. We may see this go for a good long green flag run, and that could potentially mean green flag pit stops and definitely the issue of trying to save some tires out there on the speedway. If you want to start to save these tires as early as possible here, trying to keep them underneath of you, especially for a long green flag run to start this race. We heard it from the 5 ride, about 10-15 laps. If you're really pushing the truck, these tires fall off. And right now, these guys are still laying down some very good lap times out here. So they're still pushing these trucks to the limit, not giving an inch out there on the racetrack. And as they continue to roll, they're not saving a whole lot of tire on these rides. And that could mean a big, big swing in this field around the 10-15 lap marker as some of our race leaders might start to struggle, might start to slide backwards, for drivers that might be a little bit more cautious deeper in the field, maybe saving a little bit more. We look back here at Michael Madden. He's been pretty stalled right here in this 9th spot, has the 28 of Dennis Steele and Jean Lepan right there in front of him. Brandon Domingue right there as well. Robert McDonald. These are drivers that are kind of been hanging around that top 10 here on the speedway. Haven't really moved forward too much. Been taking it fairly easy, potentially trying to save those tires for a long run as our race leaders are pulling away from them. They could potentially be giving up a lot of lap time here and a lot of tire wear. As here you go, a pass for the race lead, the 45 on Chris Gilbert down low, the 5 right of Nicholas Snyder on the high side. They go door to door into corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. He's going to clear them, and it's Chris Gilbert jumping up and taking this race lead away from Nicholas Snyder. Snyder slides back to second but does not give up quickly, crosses over that 45 right now, getting the inside positioning here into corner number 3. The 45 will give him that inside lane, but looking to carry a ton of momentum, and he gets a great drive out at corner number 4. The 45 right of Chris Gilbert will stay as our race leader. Nicholas Snyder will have to try to mount another challenge, another run to try to hunt down and catch up to that 45 ride. The 16 of Nick Gardner there in third with Jacob Groove there in position number 4. And looking for more is Austin Gustafson. The Arnold Palmer half and half number 9 ride, the Napa Auto Parts machine rolling there inside the top 5. He's been getting hounded by that 2 ride as the Sparkle and Shine Shine Anything EC machine of Daniel Dow continues to try to work himself around the Chevrolet of Austin Gustafson. These guys continue to battle here now, door to door, as the 9 right gives the bottom lane open there, but they're not going to back down from one another. We'd see sometimes early in these races, drivers may just kind of pull over or let them kind of go. You do see the 2 right run the 9 up the racetrack a little bit right there through 1 and 2, trying to clear this 9 run, make it a little bit of a pick right there as the 24. Unfortunately for Andrew Hainsley, already going a left down here, so a tough break for Mr. Hainsley in that 24. We did see Nathan Nixon right there with him. Also a lap down is, oh my gosh, I don't know what just happened to the 24 ride, but he was blinking quite a bit right there. You'll see Frank Ranger down a lap as well in that Ranger Creative Concepts number 17 ride out there on the speedway. Is, man, Andrew Hainsley had a, that scared me there a little bit. He's just been blinking here, and unfortunately sometimes when they get blinking, it makes it seem like they get into accidents out there on the speedway. His truck is A-OK. Unfortunately, not going the way he was hoping here for the evening, especially with those blinking issues. Going to make it tougher and tougher for the rest of these drivers. As right now, Nathan Nixon is the first car 1 lap down, but this HCK Beagles number 69 rider, Gregory Turner, he is not too far away from the grips of our race leaders. As there you go, the 45 right in the frame right there, as the 69 gets very loose out of corner number 2. Now up the racetrack, scrubs the outside wall here in corner number 3, looking for a big run off corner number 4, as the number 45 of Chris Gilbert reels him in. Our race leader looking to put another driver down a lap on the speedway, trying to lock them in back there behind him, as you see the rest of the competition, the rest of our top 5 right there trying to hunt down this 45 right. Nicholas Snyder still in second. Jacob Grube there in third with Nick Gardner and Daniel Dow. Our top 5 now on the speedway as Austin Gustafson slides back to position number 6. He's now got that 33 of Nixon working there to his back bumper. Unfortunately, Nixon is a lap down on the speedway. You see that 69 right, Gregory Turner. He quickly goes a lap down, sliding now towards that number 33, and that's exactly what Nathan Nixon wants to see. As that is now the battle for the free pass position here between that 69 and the 33 ride. Nixon knows he needs to be in that free pass position if we see that caution flag. So he's going to try his luck here, looking for a big run down the back straightaway. He's going to go door to door with that 69 ride. It's a big run into 3, and it looks like that 33 of Nathan Nixon will move into that lucky duck position. But he may not be so lucky, as ever so closely our race leaders reeling in another driver. Our 20th place finish, our 20th place runner right now, the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters number 13 ride. Unfortunately, the next driver to potentially go a lap down, he's about half a straightaway away from being that next driver a lap down on the speedway. And if we see this stay clean and green out there on the racetrack, we already see 20 plus laps being clicked off the books here. We already see 23 laps done and gone here on the speedway. That's going to make things very, very interesting here on how quickly they can lay down these laps and how quickly they can lay down some other drivers and put them a lap down on the speedway. As more and more tires start to fall off, these cars becoming more and more difficult to drive each and every single lap, as we do see the 17 in the outside fence. No caution flag. We stay clean and green. That was the 17 ride. Frank Ranger Jr. up into the outside wall there out at corner number 2. Luckily enough, still rolling here on the speedway. Hopefully not too much damage for that Ranger Creative Concepts number 17 ride, as he's unfortunately at the back of the pack here. In that last position, as Chris Gilbert out in front now sees that 5 ride right there. As there we go, the 28 Dennis Steele going to go a lap down, but he's looking to head down pit side. Possibly very, very heavy right front damage here on that 28 ride. You see he's gotten up into the outside fence at right front, unfortunately pointing in the wrong direction here. He's going to have to go down for a lot of service. The crew's going to go to work and see if they can get that truck rolling and back out onto the speedway. Hopefully doesn't lose too much time out there on the speedway, as he could potentially go multiple laps down here in a quick hurry, as lap time still in the 22-second bracket out there on the racetrack. So every 22 seconds that he spends down pit side getting repairs is another lap is going to go a lap down. As Chris Gilbert out in front, Nicholas Snyder in second, Jacob Grube there in third as he's made himself a way around the 16 of Nick Gardner. Gardner back in fourth, Daniel Doe there in fifth, and Austin Gustafson trying to hold on and hold off this 15 ride of Michael Madden. It's Madden right there in position number 7. Looking to try to make that move around that 9 machine as the Arnold Palmer half and half Napa Auto Parts ride, trying to hold off the Toyota, the Sparkle and Shine, anything EC machine of Madden as he takes a big run down to the inside. They're going to go door to door down across the line. Put Michael Madden up into position number 6 here. Dustin back to 7th as Jason LePan right there ready to pounce. Brandon Domingue, Robert Blair right there, as well as Robert Blair up 9 spots on the speedway. Throughout this feature event already up 9 spots, up inside the top 10. Started back in the 19th spot, so big mover already in this race for the 75 ride. Looking to have himself a great day here at Richmond Raceway. Juke Joint 31, a Robert McDonald rolling there in the 11th position, just on the outside of the top 5 looking in. And then we see a pair of Ridge Powersports rides, the HCK Beagles machines, the KR Gunner rides of Ryan Peterson, and the 87 of Jonathan Herbert back in 12th and 13th. Then we see Kevin Winker in that Muleberger Custom Homes number 42, rolling there in the 14th position. We saw him qualify up inside the top 10, was running pretty good, pretty solidly there in the opening couple laps, and then a little contact shoved him down the racetrack into the inside wall, down the back straightaway. He got a little bit of damage, a little bit of contact, no caution flag though. Unfortunately, he went from inside the top 10 to outside the top 20, and he's been battling back hard here. He's had to make up a lot of ground to make passes and hunt drivers down here to try to work himself back up towards that top 10, and being scored right now in 14th. He has not done that mission to try to drive back up there before our first pit stop of the evening. Joe Burnell there in the 15th spot as the 14 ride rolling there in the 15th position. Then we see Derek Rowdy Puckett, the 8 ride, rolling there in 16th. Neil Lapidus in the 26th. Oh man, I'm going to get this completely wrong again. The Osaka Outdoors.com number 26 ride, the Osaka machine. They are in the 17th spot here. Said he didn't get a good qualifying run, still hanging out right around where he qualified on the speedway. Hasn't really given up too much, hasn't really gained much, but could be just waiting patiently here, trying to save those tires, trying to make some runs later in these green flag runs that we're seeing here. So these guys are doing a fantastic job. The 51 of Brian Chu back there in 18.5. Kyle Van Tassel there in position number 19 on the speedway. He is now a lap down on the racetrack. You see the 33 ride working to his inside, as we do see the 24 ride losing a front bumper again, as Nathan Nixon will jump up, I do believe, into that free pass position once again. So he's just trying to hang out here with our race leaders, not really let them get too far in front of him, and he just continues to lap these guys at the same time as our race leaders do, and just trying to keep himself in that free pass lucky dog position out there on the racetrack. It's Brian Chu, the next driver, to potentially go a lap down here as he rolls down the back straightaway into corner number 3. There's our race leader about half a straightaway back behind him, and there is a lot of drivers right there in front of that 51 right as well. You see Derek Rowdy Puckett, Neil Lapidus right there. They're getting ready to see our race leader catch up to them in a quick hurry. A little bit of a gap between Lapidus and the number 14 of Joe Burnell, but man, we're going to see some great racing here throughout this feature event. And again, we see Gilbert leading the way with Nicholas Snyder there in second. Jacob Grube back there in position number 3 on the speedway. It's his Michael's Warrior Project number 18 ride, rolling there in that 3rd position, starting to build a bit of a gap between himself and Nick Gardner. As Gardner back there in position number 4 and looking for more here on the speedway. Unfortunately, sliding farther and farther away from our race leaders. Daniel Dow, the same thing, unfortunately, for the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 2 ride. Continue to slide backwards here a little bit as well, and just not being able to stay tight together like we saw this top 5 early in the race. But one driver that continues to lay down some pretty good lap times, looking pretty consistent out there on the speedway still, is this 15 machine of Michael Madden. He's trying to work himself up towards the top 5 here on the speedway. Great positions here late in this run, and he is working himself up towards the front of the field as Austin Gustafson trying to hang on to position number 7 here on the speedway as Jason LeBan. Robert Blair, Brandon DeMing, Ryan Peterson all right there behind him as they are trying to track down the young gun in that 9 ride. It's Robert McDonald, the Juke joint number 31, rolling there in the 12th position, doing a great job here on the evening. We saw Robert unfortunately run into some tough issues last week at Texas Motor Speedway, but luckily enough, looking to have a good rebound day here on this Tuesday and looking to try to pick up a solid top 10, maybe a top 5, maybe a win for that Juke joint number 31 ride as the hashtag Friends for Pets machine rolling out there on the racetrack. Kevin Winker a little farther back here in the 13th position. Then we see Herbert there behind him, Joe Burnell, Neil Lapidus, Derek Rowdy Puckett, Nathan Nixon. That first car 1 lap down as Derek Rowdy Puckett at risk of being that next driver to go a lap down as our race leader. Reeling him in a quick hurry here, and he's looking to put our 17th place driver a lap down here. So laying down some great lap times at the front of the field, putting these drivers behind them in a quick hurry. Is out in front, doing a great job. Chris Gilbert putting on a show here for us as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up here. 45 laps in already to this feature event. We're going to crank it up. We're going to give you guys a good look at the sights and sounds around Richmond Raceway for all of these drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. There it is, the Peacemaker crank it up caution flag. The crank it up curse is going to continue here as unfortunately our first caution flag of the day is going to fly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there is zero way that I can plan for that. That is just absolutely unbelievable at how many times we unfortunately see that caution flag come out just as we go to a crank it up. Nonetheless, we will get ready to take a look back and see what happened here to cause our first caution flag of the evening. And it looks like Kevin Winker in that 42 ride running into some issues here as he sends it in down low underneath the 69 ride. Just looks like they're going to get tight off the corner. Gregory Turner gonna get into him now. I'm not sure if the 42 comes up or the 69 comes down, but they unfortunately make some pretty hard contact right here, and that gives us our first caution flag. As you do see the 42 coming up a little bit, but the 69 coming down ever so slightly. Both drivers running in some different lines. I think the 69 was trying to play for a crossover move, and the 42, instead of going up to the outside wall, he kind of stayed more in the middle, and I think that's where this contact stems from as he skids across the start-finish line. Our flag man getting a great look at that one and quickly throwing out that caution flag as we will get ready to stack these drivers up and get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments. We do see drivers headed down pit side, still getting work done to their rides and ready to go to battle here once again and staying out in front. Looks like Chris Gilbert will hang on to that race lead. And we see Nicholas Snyder, Jacob Grube, Nick Gardner dangle down our top 5 here on the speedway as we believe the number 33 ride going to get the free pass and back onto the lead lap. So a great break here for the 33 machine as he was hoping for the Sparkle and Shine ride. And Nathan Nixon will get that free pass, the lucky dog, back onto the lead lap, and that will put 18 drivers back into contention here on the evening for this race win. But more drivers going to be trying to put themselves back on the lead lap as look at them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. And one thing that we know is cautions breed cautions, especially at a racetrack like Richmond Raceway. But we do see New drivers right there. That's Dennis Steele looking for the wave around here, or looking for the free pass around that pace car himself, looking for that wave around. Brian Chu also looking for the wave around as well in the 51. So both of those drivers will get put back around the official iRacing pace car. They will gain a lap here towards going back to the lead lap of this race. Unfortunately, neither driver will be on the lead lap, just getting closer to it here. So this is a little bit of work left to do here on the evening, as Chris Gilbert right there behind him. The Jags in number 45 ride is our race leader, as Janelle says, let's go Team HP Motorsports here on the Ridge Motorsports rides. The HP Motorsports, the Ridge Powersports. AR Gutters rides of Ryan Peterson, Robert Blair, Jonathan Herbert. How many other ones? Kyle Van Tassel now. Tassel, also one of those Ridge Powersports KR Gutter rides out there on the Speedway. A lot of these drivers, man, working together well, working together as a team here. Some of them having some great runs, some great races here on the night. A couple of the newcomers here to the series at the front of the field. Chris Gilbert, Nicholas Snyder, 1 and 2 on the Speedway. They both started on the front row. They're both looking to stay here towards the front row, as they are looking to go back. The green flag racing is down through the Geico restart zone. We see the green flag fly once again here at Richmond Raceway. Quickly, Chris Gilbert off the lap pedal, leading us down into quarter number 1. Nice and easy at a quarter number 2, looking to slide up and clear. That 5 rider, Nicholas Snyder. Snyder now going to have to try to hold on and hold off that 18 rider. Jacob Grube looking to work around him. He may get freight train in this outside lane, as he's looking for a gap here, trying to get down low possibly, as right now that inside lane just looking so dang strong out there on the Speedway. Woo, baby, a little contact, look out, there goes the 20 rider, Jason LePan, down into the inside fence, and no caution flag. He's going to get that truck pointed back in the right direction, keep on rolling here, but no yellow on the racetrack here. A heartbreaker for the Michaels Warrior Project number 20 ride. We saw this happen early in that first run. Our initial green flag we saw early in the race, the 42 of Kevin Winker run into the same issue. Winker had a little contact and a little help for, and he slid down the back straightaway and nosed into the inside fence, but this time, unfortunately for the 20 rider, Jason LePan just gets in there, gets on the throttle a little too hard. Fortunately, that car just kind of kicks at the rear end. He goes for a skid down into the fence, no caution flag, and we keep on trucking out here on the Speedway. Is Chris Gilbert out in front, looking to try to hang on to this race lead. Jacob Grube trying to hunt him down. Nicholas Snyder right there in position number 3 is Nick Gardner, and Michael Madden round out our top 5. Robert Blair having himself a day here at the Speedway, as he's up 13th position, started all the way back in 19th, now finds himself up inside the top 6 here on the Speedway. We do see another driver, I believe it's the 14 ride, the Jenks machine of Joe Brunel, unfortunately running into some issues here himself, as down through quarter 1 and out of quarter number 2. He's following in line with the 9 ride and almost the exact same tire marks as the number 20 machine. Just gets loose and out of quarter number 2. Unfortunately, that car just hooks left in down into that inside fence. No caution flag for the 14 ride, as well as we stay clean and green here at the front of the field. As Chris Gilbert, Jacob Grube, Nicholas Snyder, they're loving to see that. They want to see as many good green flag runs as possible, as this could potentially become a fuel mileage race, could potentially become just a pit strategy race. When is the next time you come down pit road? How many laps can you survive out there on these old tires? When do you want to come in? Maybe try to short pit, leapfrog some of the drivers in front of you to try to put yourself closer to the front of the field, maybe at the front of the field, and maybe, wait a little longer, try to see if you can wait out all those fresh tires and try to figure out something later on, and try to, maybe save a set of tires, get that caution flag that you're hoping for, and maybe trap a lot of these guys a lap or 2 down behind you and really get a stranglehold on the field. But nonetheless, we see nothing but good, great racing out there on the Speedway, and we'll jump into our Peacemaker Gaming cranking up as my boy Neil. Neil, are you kidding me, brother? Neil Lapid is coming in, not again here with the 100 bit donation. Are you fluffing kidding me, brother? Neil coming and setting it off here, not only with the 50 bits, but the 100 biddies over there on Twitch as well. Absolutely wild, my dude. Absolutely wild. I appreciate that. As Deborah coming in, showing the love as well over on Facebook. Joel Kinney coming in as well, says, woohoo, let's go. 31 McDonald. Cheering on McDonald out there as Nelson John says, had his turn signal on. Hey, as long as you got your turn signals on, it is good. It is good to go. Rocky Battlefield, my boy Rocky. What track are they at? They are at Richmond Raceway, brother. Unfortunately, I did read that a little bit late. SDK and everything, they don't like to work together too much, so I gotta continuously keep flicking through all of our different live streams and all of our different chats to read everybody's chats for everyone's messages, man. And I try to get to all of them as much as possible. Deborah Mitchell, though, coming in, says, let's go, number 31. Woohoo, number 31, cheering on that juke joint ride out there on the speedway is the Mississippi Seawolves. Mississippi Seawolves coming in, showing the love as well. My gosh, ladies and gentlemen, the Mississippi Seawolves coming in, showing the love here for the juke joint as well. That is absolutely amazing. Dimitri Curtis says, let's go Trench. Hashtag the juke joint in Friends for Pets. Yes, Sirski, you know it. You know it. Dimitri, brother, I appreciate you coming in, showing the love over there on Facebook, as well as coming in with the share. Friends for Pets coming in with the share as well. Friends for Pets becoming a brand new follower on the Peacemaker family as well over there on Peacemaker Gaming on Facebook, as well as the juke joint says, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. You know it, you know it. Listen, you guys have been showing the love like crazy over there on YouTube. Now over on Facebook, man, the juke joint, Friends for Pets, everyone that's associated with those guys, man, I can't thank you guys enough for coming in each freaking week, man, putting on some amazing comments and everything else throughout the streams, and just having some fun up here in the booth with us, man. I appreciate all of the juke joint friends and family and everyone that's a part of the Friends for Pets for tuning in and showing the love here for the HCK Beagles, Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series, and all these amazing drivers and myself. And man, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, man. I'm always down to find new friends and new people to become part of the Peacemaker family, as the juke joint coming in as well, becoming a brand new follower over there on Facebook. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. The juke joint coming in, showing the big love. Derek James Moore, Derek D-Rock coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. Anthony Garp with that thumbs up as well. Brian Rowland, Derek Cat coming in with the reactions. Andrew Ainsley with that share and the like on the stream as well. HCK Beagles coming in with that share on the broadcast, coming in, show the big love in this one. Deborah Mitchell, 213 Swimwear coming in with the like on the stream as well. And Carol Ainsley coming in, smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast as well. As, man, we see some great racing, though, out here on the Speedway. These guys have not backed down one little bit out there on the Speedway, but we do see a new leader on the Speedways. You see that 45 ride getting very, very loose. Chris Gilbert starting to struggle as Jacob Groove to the front of the field here. The Michael's Warrior Project, number 18 ride to the point here at Richmond Raceway as Chris Gilbert slides back to second. Nicholas Snyder there in third. Michael Madden, Nick Gardner, our top five here on the Speedway is Robert Blair, Brandon DeMing, Jonathan Herbert, Ryan Peterson, and Daniel Doe, our top five here on the Speedway. Then we see Nathan Nixon and Robert McDonald, the juke joint, number 31 ride, rolling there in the 12th position, still having himself a wonderful evening at the racetrack, man. We've seen a lot of drivers go behind him, go in front of him, but he's stayed pretty consistent, just right outside the top 10. And then late in one of these races, if he can hit that pitch strategy right, or if he can make the right changes in this truck, we can see this juke joint right having himself a great run and a great race here, and potentially putting himself, inside the top 10 again, maybe even up inside the top 5. It'd be awesome to see Robert up here in the broadcast booth after one of these races and up on the podium, maybe in winner's circle here one of these evenings. He's got Austin Gustafson right there behind him. Neil Lapidus in that OSOC Outdoors.com number 26 ride, rolling there in the 14th position. Derek Remy Puckett there in 15th as we see Jason LePan, Joe Burnell, our top 17 here on the Speedway. I do believe Kevin Winker is being scored right now as the first truck 1 lap down on the speedway here. Gregory Turner trying to get around him here, trying to get back into that free pass position for the 69 ride. Kyle Van Tassel back there a little farther back in the 20th position, still a lap down himself. Brian Chu, Frank Ranger Jr., Dennis Steele, Andrew Ainsley, all unfortunately laps down out there on the racetrack as well. As out in front, Jacob Grube leads the way, is down at a corner number 4. He will click off another lap as down across the line. We are down 75 laps here on the speedway. We only got 100 laps of racing action left to go here for the HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we're going to get ready to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Yes, just 100, the juke joint, just 100 laps. Just under 100 laps now. It seems intimidating, but these guys are only running 22-second lap times, so these laps are going to get clicked off in a quick hurry. drivers doing a great job, giving us a good look at all the sights and sounds around Richmond Raceway. As out in front, it's the 18 ride of Jacob Groove, who continues to lead the way. Groove out in front has Nicholas Snyder right there behind him, and Chris Gilbert sitting there in that third position on the speedway. As they're looking to try to put this 42 ride another lap down. Kevin Winker trying to hold on to this ride, trying to keep himself at least one lap down on the speedway and not falling 2 laps behind our race leaders, as that is a dangerous game to play. It's tough to make that time back up on the speedway and get those lucky breaks. To come back from 2 laps down is almost impossible with only about 75 laps of racing action left here this evening. Is out in front, Jacob Groove doing a great job, but right there behind him, hanging out in that second, third, first position all evening long, up inside the top 3. We've seen all 3 of these drivers, Groove, Snyder, and Gilbert, have been the only 3 race leaders on the evening. They're the only 3 drivers that have been up inside the top 3 pretty much all evening long. As these guys continue to put on a great show for us, I welcome everyone in. As everyone coming in showing the love. Brap says the Juke Joint, Mississippi. Seawo says let's go Trench. Cheered on Trench out there on the speedway. Jason coming in says, let's fucking go. Let's go, Jason. Let's go, baby. Take Action Design says, yeah, Trench. Yep, that's Trench out there, 100%. Here we go. Green flag pit stops underway here. Our first set of green flag pit stops underway here from Richmond Raceway. This is a very dangerous pit road to come down to. You gotta get checked up in a quick hurry. As 2 of our front runners coming down a little bit earlier here. We talked to Nicholas Snyder early in this race about what it may take and whether or not he was gonna be one of those drivers that come down early on a run, and he's one of the first cars to come down here in this one. So taking advantage possibly of these fresh tires, but the next time around we do see our race leader Jacob Groove come down pit lane. So that will forfeit the race lead over to the 15 ride, the Sparkling Shine Anything EC machine of Michael Madden. Madden now at the front of the field. He's going to make the hard left-hand turn. He'll head down pit road. Brandon Ming, Daniel Dow also going to come down pit side with them. The only driver yet to make that green flag pit stop is this 16 of Nick Gardner. So Gardner staying out there on the speedway, not coming down pit side yet. So it's going to be very interesting to see when he does decide to. And it looks like he's going to wait no longer and head down pit road this time around. So the 16 down pit side going to make that pit stop, as we'll have to wait and see who will come out as our race leader. And it looks like potentially a great pit stop. That first pit stall working advantages here during this green flag pit stop for Nicholas Snyder. That's going to put him to the front of the field. So Nicholas Snyder looking to jump up and take this race lead away. Jacob Groove a little farther back there behind him. Michael Madden going to come out in third, as I do believe possibly a pit road speeding penalty here for Chris Gilbert. Gilbert had to come back down pit road. This is a heartbreaker for that number 45 ride, as he's been running up inside the top 3 here all evening long, and now having to kind of play catch up here, down a lap on the speedway, and he is not going to be happy with that performance in that round of green flag pit stops, and he'll have to wait for a couple caution flags. And there we go, we're going to see one right after green flag pit stops. We do see the yellow flag being displayed here. Caution flag coming out. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this caution flag was for. Doesn't quite show me on the speedway what happened here. I do see some drivers down pit road. See Brian Chu back here. We'll take a look here, see if something happens. See Brian Chu, Joe Burnell, Dennis Steele possibly having issues. I don't see him on the racetrack, but let's see where this caution flag necessarily came from. So a little bit of a ghost caution flag right there. That's going to mix things up quite a bit here on the speedway. So not sure what happened, but we do see Nicholas Snyder still out in front, leading the way here, able to jump back into this race lead. Was hoping to use that green flag pit stop for his advantage right there. Is Reef Wesley Gibson coming in, says Shipman getting the juke joint. Let's go, getting the juke joint. That's all that matters right there in that comment. As Wesley Gibson says, new tires time. Yes, Sirski, new tires time is right now. You see Jonathan Herbert come back down pit side. I do believe he is going to be in that free pass position, so I do believe he will get the wave around and back onto the lead lap, and I do believe 45 ride may also be in that area. It does look like the 45 ride getting a lucky break. Chris Gilbert does get that free pass and back onto the lead lap. Jonathan Herbert just coming back down pit side here again, so I'm not sure if he was potentially collected in this caution flag or what it caused it. We saw him roll on a speedway, didn't see him go around or anything, as there we go. The 9 ride, we finally see it, we finally find it. It looks like the 9 ride running into some issues here. That's Austin Gustafson going around right here. Now, we did not see this on the speedway, so we'll take a look here, see what happens to the 9. Just gets loose out of corner number 4. The rear end steps out and around on him, and the Arnold Palmer half in half number 9 machine goes for that loop-de-loop, and that's what brings out our second caution flag of the day. I'm glad we found that. As that was going to bug me all evening long. Is out in front, Nicholas Snyder leads the field. Jacob Grew right there in second. Let's see if we can get Jacob up here into the broadcast booth. Let's see if we can find him here. Where is Mr. Grew? There he is. All right, let's see if we can pull this number 18 right up here into the broadcast booth real quick. Hey, Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, I got you.
Jacob, man, a fast number 18 truck here throughout the evening. We saw you there during that green flag run, able to take this race lead away from the 45 ride after getting around the 5 machine and Nicholas Snyder now during those green flag pit stops. Unfortunately, Nicholas was able to get back around you here. You know, what are you going to do to get this race lead back and potentially put yourself back into victory lane here in the HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here tonight?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I think I'm just going to try to do what I did in the first run. It's just kind of take care of my tires and don't take any chances, and you know, just kind of wait, see if they can maybe pressure Nick or somebody else to make a mistake and kind of pounce on that opportunity. So yeah, just going to keep it calm here, just keep running out laps like I was doing and look for opportunities.
Absolutely, we look forward to seeing you battle out there on the speedway, elbows up, and good luck out there on the racetrack. And hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth before the end of the evening, Jacob.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up right there as Jacob Grew, the 18 ride, jumping in here for a little in-race interview as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Nicholas Snyder out in front, Grew there to his outside is down through the Geico restart zone. A little bit of back and forth there, trying to catch these drivers flat-footed, and Nicholas Snyder able to stay out in front as he leads us clearly a couple truck lengths down into quarter number 1. Nice and easy down out of quarter number 2, down the back straightaway. You see some left traffic already coming into plays. That's the 8 ride. Oh, baby, almost came back up onto the racetrack. Almost collected our race leaders as Derek Brownie Bucket trying to get this truck down and out of the way here, as I'm not sure what had happened to him, but we do see the caution flag coming right back out as that one got way too close for what I think our race leaders were hoping for here, as this is going to be a tough one as the 8 ride coming back out onto the speedway. He's going to try to come down pit road, or at least down onto the apron. Unfortunately, comes back onto the racetrack right there. Look at how close he was to clipping that left rear quarter panel of our race leader. The 18 going up the racetrack to avoid him, the 15, the 16 as well. Luckily enough, he gets back down onto the apron and avoids major contact there with anybody else. But that could have been a whole lot worse, as he was right there within striking distance of some of our race leaders right there. And we see some more contact deeper in the field, and this is what brings out that caution flag, as Austin Gustafson going to get in there a little bit too deep. Gets a piece of that 33 ride, and that spins Nathan Nixon around hard up into the outside fence here, and then quite a little whiles behind him here. We see a couple more drivers drive into this one. Let's see if we can play this back, as these guys were battling tough right here. Now, I'm not sure if in there a little too deep. Tough break there for Austin, and definitely a tough break for Nathan Nixon. And you see Gregory Turner and Frank Ranger both getting collected in that one, as well as Frank slides in there just a little bit too late, trying to get to the outside. Unfortunately, 33 doing the right thing, keeping his foot on the brake pedal and not sliding back down the racetrack. Unfortunately for Frank, he gets a big piece of him here as we'll follow this number 17 ride right on his helmet cam, the 69 right in front of him, and trying to split him on. Unfortunately, I think he might have had a gap right there, but as Gregory Turner gets a piece of that 33 ride, he kind of kicks that rear end up the racetrack and right in front of the lap of him here. Is not sure if they were going to make contact or not. Would have been very, very close nonetheless, and heavy damage for bunch of our competitors right there. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here once again. So we'll try this restart all over again as Tom's Extreme Pizzeria coming in says, let's go. The Juke Joint coming in, showing the big love as Reef coming in with the T-bone steak, baby. Whew, man, I got a couple T-bone steaks right now chilling in the fridge. We need some seasonings right now, some seasonings and some special ingredients, getting ready for potentially going into the smoker tomorrow morning. So it's gonna be a lot of fun putting a couple steaks in there and some other meats as well. We're gonna try a bunch of different things and trying to find something cool for cooking wise in the smoker we got over the last couple days. As such a fun track, one of my favorites to watch and race in video games. Yeah, Richmond is definitely a very, very fun racetrack. It's very technical, especially here on iRacing. You know, in NASCAR games and stuff like that that are more arcade style, they are a lot more easier than here in iRacing. We've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter what series it is. We come here to Richmond, and there's a lot of drivers that just seem to struggle here, that can't quite figure this place out. And I don't know what it is, but when the sun gets set here, these tires just seem to eat away quicker, and trucks, cars, anything that you race here seems to get that much more difficult throughout a race. And we can see an abundance of caution flags in a quick hurry. We've had races here that are a majority of the ways have been nothing but caution flags. So we haven't seen that here tonight. We've seen some good green flag runs, and hopefully we can see another one here before the end of this race. But yeah, definitely a very fun, very exciting racetrack, and pretty much anytime we can head to a short track, man. Short track racing is my favorite type of racing. That elbows up, sit on the edge of your seat lap after lap. You know, that's the exciting racing that I love to watch. And we're seeing it right now with all these HCK Beagle truck drivers out there on the speedways. Back down through the Geico restart zone. Another big restart for the HendrickCars.com number 5 rider, Nicholas Snyder. Snyder back onto the lap panel here, rolling at the front of the field. Now has Michael Madden back here behind him. Madden up into position number 2, and he is looking for more here as a sparkle and shine anything EC machine up into second as Jacob Groot trying to hold on to position number 3 here as he's got that 16 of Nick Gardner working to his outside. The 2 rider Daniel Doe right there, as well as Dow trying to work himself around that number 18 machine as well. Brandon May up into 6th. Here's Austin Gustafson back there in 7th. The 87, the KR Gutters, Ridge Powersports number 87 right up. Jonathan Herbert rolls there in the 8th position. Then we see Jason LePan, Ryan Peterson, Neil Lapidus in the OSOC Outdoors.com number 26 right, doing a great job here as he's just outside the top 10 now as Nathan Nixon will work down to his inside and around him. And then we saw at 31 ride, the Juke Joint machine, the Friends for Pets and number 31 rolling in that 13th position. Got loose a couple times here, but he is rolling around the speedway pretty nicely just outside the top 10, doing a great job out there on the speedway. Robert Blair back there behind him with Chris Gilbert, one of our front runners, one of the few drivers to lead laps here this evening at Richmond. Back there in that 15th position, and that's just going to show you what track position's like. It's tough to pass here. It's not an easy track to get around fellow drivers out there on the speedway. It's very, very technical when you try to get underneath with somebody. You got to time your runs perfectly to make these moves and put yourself in front of other drivers. And we saw Chris Gilbert lead laps here, stay up inside the top 3 for majority of this race until that green flag pit stop. Made the mistake, had to come back down pit side, and unfortunately gets shuffled here into the middle of the pack, and he has not really been able to advance his position since then. So one of the faster trucks on the speedway got stuck back here in the vortex at Richmond. and about midfield. So tough racing here through the middle of the pack. And we see Kyle Van Tassel right there as well. The Ridge Powersports KR Gunners ride. He's the first car, or the last car on the lead lap, as Kevin Winkler is the first truck one lap down out there on the speedway. He's open for another caution flag to put himself back into contention here this evening. Open for that yellow, and he'll get that lucky dog wave around back onto the lead lap. Derek Rowdy Puckett down a lap, as well as Brian Chu. Joe Burnell a couple laps down, and Frank Ranger Jr. going to join him, as we do see Gregory Turner down pit side getting extreme repairs done to the HCK Beagles number 69 ride. Dennis Steele and Andrew Hainsley both off the speedway already in this one. As out in front, Nicholas Snyder continuing to lead the way here. Snyder out in front in his Chevy Silverado as he's trying to hold off that Toyota TRD Tundra of Michael Madden, who's right there behind him, not letting him run away with it, trying to stick right there as here comes a couple more Chevys, trying to hunt down that Toyota as well, trying to work themselves up to their Chevy teammate. Is Nicholas Snyder. At the front of the field is Jacob Grube, Nick Gardner. They're in third and fourth. Tingle down another Toyota and another Toyota. Brandon Domingue right there. Ready to bounce as well. It's all Toyotas and Chevys here, I do believe, up through the top 8. Top 10 even is Ryan Peterson, and Jonathan Herbert, both Chevrolets as well. I'm not sure where we see our first Ford, or if we even have a Ford in the field. There we go. First Ford on the racetrack is Neil Lapidus here. Currently in that 13th position on the speedway, the OSOC Outdoors.com. Number 26, the first Ford in the field here. He may be one of the only Fords in the field, as the Chevrolet of the Juke Joint number 31. That's Robert McDonald back there in 14th. Chris Gilbert right there behind him in that 15th position. They're all battling back here just outside the top 10. We see some great racing action. We do see Brian Chu head down pit side here. Brian Chu, and possibly another scheduled pit stop here off sequence with everybody else. Going to come down pit road. This is going to be interesting to see if this pays off for him. Yo-yos for life. Yo-yos for life. You know it, as Dimitri Curtis coming in with that heart reaction over on the Facebook stream, coming in showing the big love over there on Facebook, as Andrew coming in says, let's get the W. Lapidus coming in cheering on Neil Lapidus out there on the speedway. Neil doing a pretty good job, being one of the only Fords out there on the speedway, as he's up inside the top 12 on the racetrack. We do see Nathan Nixon heading down pit road as well. So more drivers making some green flag pit stops here. Definitely interesting moves, and I feel like it's a little bit too early for coming back down pit side. I think that's going to potentially hurt these guys a lot more than what it's going to help them out there on the speedway, as we're still quite a few laps away. As you see the 33 potentially going to go 2 laps down here, and he's going to have the fresher tires by a little bit, so he should be quicker than our race leaders right here. But you see this 5 ride still reeling into him here. Maybe that's the damage on that 33 too much to bear here. You see our race leader going to roll around him here. So unfortunately for 33 ride, getting a little loose right there. That's going to be a scary sight, as his teammate Michael Madden trying to just make quick work of him, trying to put his teammate back there behind him, as a pair of Sparkle and Shine Anything EC rides right here together on the speedway. Maybe that 33 can help push his teammate Michael Madden to the win here on the evening. If you can get lined up with him, maybe trying to give him a shot, maybe a run. They're trying to figure out a way to get around Nicholas Snyder, as Snyder continues to lead the way, as down across the line here at a quarter number 4. They are going to click off another lap. Lap number 132 up onto the board here. We get closer and closer to our checkered flag. Still a lot of laps of racing action here on the evening. What do we got? Still 43 laps of racing action still left in this race, so it's not over yet. There's still many of different things that can happen out there on the racetrack. We can still see abundance of caution flags here late in this one to really tighten things up and make it that much tougher for all these drivers and for our race leader to try to hold these fellow competitors back there behind him. because anything can happen here at the Speedway. Until that fat lady sings, until that checkered flag is thrown, nobody is safe out there on the Speedway. You gotta mind your P's and Q's. You can't make any mistakes out there on the Speedway, or at least you want to minimize your mistakes as much as possible. Stay out of contact with fellow drivers out there on that Speedway. Stay out of that outside fence. Keep this car pointed in the right direction and keep all four fenders on it. And give yourself a good opportunity just to keep yourself out of trouble, and at the same point in time, maybe be quick enough to get towards the front of the field. And right now, the 5 doing a great job at it as he continues to lead the way and actually starts to open up a bit of a lead between himself and Michael Madden, about 4 or 5 truck lengths now between our top 2 drivers here on the Speedway. Jacob Brew back there in third. He's a little farther back away from Michael Madden. Has that left down ride of Nathan Nixon there in between them as well. Nick Garner there in fourth. Daniel Dow back there in position number 5. Brandon Domingue, Jason LePan, Austin Gustafson, Jonathan Herbert, Robert Blair, our top 10 here on the Speedway. Ryan Peterson back in 11th with Neil Lapidus back there in 12th. Then we see Chris Gilbert in the 45, trying to figure out a way to get around that 26 machine. And then Robert McDonald, the juke joint ride there in position number 14 here on the Speedway. And Kyle Van Tassel, the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters, number 13 ride. Still the last driver on the lead lap right now, but our race leaders are trying to hunt him down, and we do see green flag pit stops. Jacob Grube coming down pit side. Woo, brother, this is going to make things very interesting. Potentially a short pit here by the 18 ride. Is this going to drag everybody else down pit road, or do they stay out for quite a bit more laps? Will this allow the 18 ride to leapfrog the drivers in front of him, Michael Madden and Nicholas Snyder? Will that put him potentially in front of them, or are they going to try to run this one out even with the older tires? Potentially that number 18 can run quite a bit faster lap times than these guys. Does he have enough time to make the laps back? Can he put himself back towards the lead lap and still have enough tire to try to hunt these guys down late in this race if they don't come down pit side? It's going to be very interesting. This is going to be a big strategy move, a big strategy swing here for that number 18 ride of Jacob Grube as he is back out there on the Speedway here. I believe only 1 lap down. He's now scored as the first driver 1 lap down on the racetrack, and it's going to be very interesting to see if he can try to get himself back onto the lead lap, as I do believe Kyle Van Tassel also still on the lead lap here, possibly going to try to come down pit road, but he's got our race leaders right there behind him as Robert Blair now comes down pit side. So does Jonathan Herbert and Ryan Patterson, as well as Peterson down pit side as well. So potentially bringing other drivers with them here. That different strategy move for Jacob Grube. Jacob Grube making some headway here, and other drivers trying to follow in his tire tracks as he goes around them on the Speedway. Look at that difference maker as these guys still down pit road, just getting rolling back onto the pit lane surface here. And our race leader, Nicholas Snyder, going to try to put them a lap or another lap down here as Kyle Van Tassel is going to go a lap down, so he's now into the free pass position. With all these green flag pit stops, it's going to move Robert McDonald up inside the top 10. McDonald now into that 10th position, but when do we see some more of these drivers come down pit side? When do these drivers start to make these moves? When do they come down pit road for what could be potentially their final pit stop of the evening? You see this 469 ride, that's Jonathan Herbert. Actually, Jonathan Herbert in the 87 ride, that 469 ride, that's Ryan Peterson. Sorry, I always get those two confused. Their trucks look so much alike. As Peterson, you see the fresh tires. He was quite a bit slower on the Speedway than that number 15 machine, and you see the fresh tires. He's hanging strong with them here, trying to make that pass to get around that 15 ride, but he hasn't really been able to make much headway there. Unfortunately, a back corner 1 and 2. See if you can find a little bit of extra speed here and just roll around the outside of this 15, and that's exactly what he's going to do, and that just displays how much better the tires are on that 469 ride of Ryan Peterson compared to our second place driver, Michael Madden. As Madden, unfortunately, going to see that 469 ride pull away in a quick hurry, and now if drivers can use those fresh tires to their advantage, it could potentially put them in a big spot. As here we go, race leaders down pit side, Nicholas Snyder, Michael Madden, Daniel Dow, all coming down pit road. Brandon Ming down there as well. Nick Gardner going to stay out on the speedway. Jason LePan and Austin Gustafson also staying out on the speedway as well. We do see Robert McDonald also head down pit road here as the Juke Joint 31 ride heads down pit side. The Fretsford Benz machine on pit road here from the 10th position. Wait and see how all these pit strategies are going to play out and how this is going to put them back out onto the speedway. Once we see this kind of cycle through, where everyone's going to be here and who's going to have the car to beat, as we do see the caution flag fly. Oh, this is a game changer, ladies and gentlemen. A huge game changer. Caution flag on the speedway. Gregory Turner in that 96 ride. The HCK Beagles machine going to run into some issues here. He is going to go around. Wow. Heavy hit right there for that 69 ride as he goes hard into the inside fence here. Just loses it out of the corner. No help here, unfortunately. Just the rear end's going to give out and around on him. As he gets back onto the throttle. We've seen it time and time again here at Richmond Raceway, and that car just shoots down the racetrack hard into that inside safer barrier. And look at the damage it does to that 69 run. That is a heavy hit right there. And that will put us underneath the 4th caution flag of the evening. I do believe that is the 4th caution flag. Let's see if we can jump on board the helmet cam. Get a look here in this one. Yeah, that is a tough break right there for that 469 ride. But that is going to make some very interesting things here for these final laps as race leaders down pit side here. Nick Gardner, Jason LePan, Austin Gustafson, Neil Lapidus, Chris Gilbert, Kyle Van Tassel, all down pit side. We do see Jacob Grube getting waved around the speedway. He was in that free pass position, so he was the first car one lap down, got waved back onto the lead lap. That will give him a free pit stop right here virtually, as everybody else that was a lap down as well is going to be looking for the wave around here. Now, they all have fresh-ish tires on their race trucks, but unfortunately, they're going to get waved around here, around the pace truck, just before we go back to green flag racing. And we'll get back onto the lead lap. Unfortunately, they will be at the tail end of the field, and that could put them quite a ways behind everybody else here. So you do see Jonathan Herbert, the 42 rider Kevin Winker, all looking for the wave around. The 469 Ryan Peterson, Nicholas Snyder, Michael Madden, Daniel Doe, Brandon Ming, Kyle Van Tassel, Robert McDonald, all looking for this wave around here, trying to get back onto the lead lap or down to one lap down, as we do see the 33 rider Nathan Nixon there as well, Kevin Winker. So all these drivers looking for these wave arounds to either get to one lap down on the speedway or back onto the lead lap. And unfortunately, they're going to have a lot of cars in between themselves here and when we go back to green flag racing. So this is going to work perfectly for Nick Gardner, as that will give him the race lead and a fresh set of tires here late in this race. Jason LePan will be in position number 2 with Austin Gustafson in position number 3. Neil Lapidus in 4th with Chris Gilbert, and Jacob Grube are top 6 here on the racetrack. Jonathan Herbert is currently being scored as the first driver a lap down here on the speedway, but he is looking for that wave around to get back onto the lead lap here. So it's going to be a wild, close-in couple laps here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You guys came here for a show. Let's freaking go, as this is going to be an absolutely amazing race. Absolutely amazing finish here in this one, as McKinney's Irish Pub OS coming in, showing the love, says, let's go. The Juke Joint cheering on that 31 ride out there on the speedway. And McKinney's coming in, showing the love. McKinney's Irish Pub, that's a place I would like to be right now. Brennan coming in, showing the love. What's good, Brennan? Brennan coming in as well, says Trench. Cheered on Trench out there on the speedway. How are you, Brennan? How are you, brother? Coming in, showing the love here in this one, as Dimitri says, oh, this makes it interesting. Great timing, Robert McDonald. Yeah, I think it was good timing for the most part, but I think unfortunately, he was still in the middle of his pit stop. Couldn't get the pit stop to end. I do believe that ended up putting him 2 laps down on the speedway. Now, I do believe being scored 1 lap down here. Yeah, so he's going to need another caution flag or 2, maybe another wave around. Lucky dog to put him back onto the lead lap here as he scored back in the 14th spot. 1 lap down is Neil. Neil Lapidus coming in again with another 100 biddies as well, coming in with another 100 bits, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. I appreciate you, Neil. Brother, good luck out there. That 26 right, getting ready to rock and roll. From position number 4 is stacked up, ranked up, ready to go. Nick Gardner out in front of the field. Jason LaPanda is outside. Austin Gustafson, Neil Lapidus, Chris Gilbert, our top 5 here on the speedways. The green flag back out into the air for Nick Gardner. Gardner with a great launch and a great restart is door to door for position number 2. Here comes the Arnold Palmer half and half ride. His contact back there behind him. Look out, the 14 ride is going to go around. Lapidus in there as well. Heavy contact for Nicholas Snyder in the HendrickCars.com number 5 ride. Untimely caution flag, untimely mistake, and unfortunately that is going to create a ton of contact and a ton of damage for our pole sitter and one of the drivers that were out in front here trying to play that strategy game out there on the speedway. As we go back to the caution flag, it looks like Neil Lapidus, brother, I think I may have jinxed him here, as the 26 just trying to get everything he can down here, rolling in that 4th position. Unfortunately, just gets onto the throttle a little bit too quick. Ooh, we're playing a little too quick right there. Let's play this a little bit slower, as see that number 26 right. The rear end just kicks out and around. This is how we went under the caution flag in the first part when we saw the 69 right go around. You also see the 14 at that exact same time do almost the exact same thing. He goes around as well, getting onto the throttle as he goes around. It kind of just stacks everybody up, and unfortunately for Mr. McDonald, he gets a little bit of damage there off that 14 ride as the 14 keeps on rolling on the speedway, launches up the racetrack into the 5 ride, and my gosh, he goes like a little bunny hop right there. I don't know how much air he cleared, but he definitely got a little bit of clearance there on all 4 tires for this 5 machine, as that was a bit of a wild hit right here. Whoop! Little bunny hop, and unfortunately gets him up into the fence there. The 2 ride of Dangle Dow going to get some damage as well there, as the front bumper gets ripped off that 5 ride. Didn't look like too much damage though for Robert McDonald. He was able to get through that, but not too much damage here. Let's see if we can jump on board with Robert as he's rolling here. He sees that 26 and the 14 go around, gets slight contact there with the 14 ride. Hopefully no damage, nothing that's going to take him out of this race, but you do see the 5 ride heavy damage here for him. That's going to potentially take him out of contention of this feature event, and that is definitely not where he wants to be. You do see Neil Lapidus down pit side getting some repairs done to that number 26 ride, and I believe Robert McDonald, not sure if he was in that free pass spot or not. Neil Lapidus is not a lap down, so I do believe Robert McDonald is in that free pass position, so he should get himself back into the lead lap right here. Should get that wave around here, the lucky dog, and get back onto the lead lap. So even though we got a little contact into that, may be a blessing in disguise, as that may put him back onto the lead lap here on the evening. So we'll have to wait and see if he gets that wave around here and back into contention, as Nick Gardner out in front of the field continued to lead the way. Gustafson there in second, Jason LePan in third, Chris Gilbert, Jonathan Herbert, our top 5. Then we see Ryan Peterson, Michael Madden, Daniel Dow, Jacob Groom, Nathan Nixon, our top 10 here on the speedway. Nicholas Snyder in the 11th position. Neil Lapidus there in 12th, and then we see Robert McDonald back in 13th, the first car 1 or potentially 2 laps down here on the speedway. Kevin Winker, Kyle Van Tassel bringing them in our top 16, as we're getting stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. And this is what we were talking about earlier on, ladies and gentlemen. These caution flags, as Randy says it's pronounced Lapidus. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm probably getting it completely wrong. I do apologize if I do get any of the last names wrong or right or anything else. I apologize. Damn, that 5 was running good too. Yeah, Dimitri, that is a tough break for him. It's the Canuck Gamer coming in, showing the love. How are ya? The Canuck Gamer says, let's go. 469 says, sheesh. Yeah, that's a tough one right there. Tough hit says, we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. It's a regular Friday night or Saturday night shootout here from Richmond Raceway as we see 15 more laps left to go. A 15-lap shootout here at the front of the field as out in front, Nick Gardner leading the way here. Gardner in the Napa Auto Parts number 16 right out in front. Austin Gustafson there in position number 2. Chris Gilbert back there in 3rd, and then we see the 20 rider Chase LePan and Michael Madden now rounding out our top 5 as Madden trying to work himself back towards the front of the field, and Chris Gilbert trying to work himself back to the front of the field as he led some laps early in this race. As we see some more contact, Ryan Peterson Rube gonna go around as well, another one of our race leaders throughout the evening, and another caution flag on the speedway. Jacob Groove, Ryan Peterson parked down low here on the bottom side of the back straightaway. Another caution flag is gonna fly, and man, oh man, it is cautions breeding cautions here, and not sure what put the 469 ride down low here. Maybe a little contact as we do see. Oh, it looks like Daniel Dow, unfortunately, going to get in here a little bit too hot. So Dow gets in here a little bit too hot, gets into the back end of the 469 rider, Ryan Peterson. Going to kind of get Peterson kind of sliding sideways here himself. He's trying to catch this ride, and unfortunately, the rear end just continues to slide out. He's losing momentum. And the 18 ride of Grube going to come in and get some contact there as Jacob Grube gives him a little nudge, gets him down onto the apron. He almost saves it here. He almost gets this truck saved, comes back up onto the racetrack as the springs kind of compress and decompress. Coming back onto the racetrack, it just spins this 469 right around again, and obviously right there, heavy contact is Grube getting into him, and he's getting shoved even deeper in there by the 42 rider, Kevin Winker. Look at the damage on this 42 ride as the Muleburgers Custom Homes number 42 ride, the Muleburger ride, having tons of damage here. The Asphalt Outlaws machine tore up down the back straightaway. Let's see if we can play this back and jump on board here with Kevin Winker, Winker Nation. Not seeing the way we normally see this 42 ride, and unfortunately, he's just had some tough luck all evening long, and that is not a spot you want to be as he comes out at corner number 2 and really just not a whole lot of room to make any moves or anywhere to go out there on the speedway, and unfortunately, tons of damage here on him. He's trying to follow that 18 ride. Unfortunately, wrong spot, the wrong time, and that is going to tear him apart and put him down pit side for potentially an extended period of time here on the evening as we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in just a few more moments. These drivers ready to rock and roll. They're ready to duke it out here in this one. And so we're going to crank it up here just for this little bit. I'm going to get a quick drink into me, and then we're going to get ready for our closing laps on the evening. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The craziness is potentially just getting started. We still got lots of racing action left to go here on the evening. ready to go back to green flag racing here with only about 8 laps left to go in this feature event. So about 8 laps left for these drivers to duke it out here at Richmond Raceway for the HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here. Richmond Raceway is down through quarter number 3 and 4. The pace car makes that hard left-hand turn back down pit side. We're going to head down into the Geico restart zone. A great restart for the 16 machine of Nick Gardner. Gardner getting a great jump there over Austin Gustafson. Gustafson trying to battle here on the outside with the 45 of Chris Gilbert. Gilbert with a big run, though, able to almost clear the 9 ride as he's going to drive it down deep and low in quarter number 3. They still go door to door as the Arnold Bomber half and half number 9 ride going to stay in position number 2 as the 45 gets very loose there on the bottom side of the racetrack. And we see more contact. Jason LePan hard up into the outside fence. Oh, brother, we told you the craziness may not be done yet. No caution flag as of yet there for that contact. We stay clean and green as everyone's able to keep their truck rolling on the speedway. Nick Garner, though, out in front now with about a half a second between himself and Austin Gustafson as Gustafson rolls there in position number 2. We see Michael Madden there in third. Chris Gilbert there in position number 4. Going to get up into the outside fence. He may be pushing this truck very heavily, trying to get everything he can out of it as Jacob Grube able to work himself back up inside the top 5. Neil Lapidus into position number 6 here on the speedways. Nathan Nixon, Daniel Dow, Nicholas Snyder, Jason LePan, Kyle Van Tassel, Jonathan Herbert, our top 12 here on the speedway. Brandon Mink, Robert Morgan, and Ryan Peterson round out our top 15, but it's the 16 of Nick Gardner out in front. He now sees Michael Madden into position number 2. Madden able to clear that 9 machine of Austin Gustafson. Gustafson slides back to position number 3, still holding on to a podium finish though here late in this race, as he would love to get a great finish here in this HCK Beagles Truck Series race as 3 more laps left to go. Can Nick Gardner hang on and pick up the win here this evening, or can Michael Madden hunt him down? He may be able to catch him, but then he's got to try to figure out a way to get around him. Do we see the bump and run? Do we see the Austin Dillon or the Dale Earnhardt be displayed here this evening with a little bit of contact in our closing laps as the 15 trying to pull the Intimidator on the 16 ride of Nick Gardner? He's trying to play the Chase Elliott of the Truck Series here and looking to just try to pull away and keep these drivers back there behind him. And back there in his rear view mirror is down at a quarter number 4. And across the line, we see the white flag fly one more time around here for Nick Gardner, as he has not made a mistake, has hit his marks lap after lap here in this final couple restarts, and down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening from Richmond Raceway. The 16 rider Nick Gardner will round corner number 4. He'll go across the line and he'll see the checkered flag as Nick Gardner gets the win here at Richmond Raceway in the HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series as Gardner gets it done, picking up the win. Michael Madden coming home in second, and Austin Gustafson gonna come home in position number 3 on the evening. Gilbert and Grube will round out our top 5, but it's all Nick Gardner here late in this race. Benefactor of some green flag pit stops, contact afterwards there as drivers coming in to show their appreciation here and give him a little love tap right there as he saw the 42 rider Kevin Winker pull up as well to show some love. The 9 rider Austin Gustafson there as well, as he is proud to be up here on the top 3 here and cheering on what I'm assuming is one of his teammates out there on the racetrack, as I know they're both heavily connected with the 9 crew in the NASCAR Cup Series here, as we know Nick, he works underneath the rear end of the 9 rider Chase Elliott's machine, and obviously Austin Gustafson, the son of Alan Gustafson, the crew chief, one of the top men up on the boxes in the NASCAR Cup Series, and these guys showing up, showing out here in this one. But benefactors late race green flag pit stops, and we saw the unfortunate caution flag come out in the middle of it, kind of trapping a lot of these drivers a lap or 2 laps down, and that kind of really mixed things up here throughout the field, and it kind of gave that advantage to that 16 rider, Nick Gardner. He never faltered, never made a mistake, even with all the contact and carnage back there behind him as he pulls the Alan Kowicki victory lap, the Polish victory lap here around the speedway. Always amazing to see as he pulls the Polish victory lap here at Richmond Raceway, paying his respects here to Alan Kowicki. Always beautiful to see as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up here into the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action, though, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button right now on the broadcast. Turn on those bell notifications, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth. As Deborah says, good job, Rob, number 31. Yeah, Rob, I think he would have been able to pick up a few more spots there late in this race. Mr. McDonald ran super good, just outside the top 10 all evening long, and then some of that contact, some of that carnage there late in this race. If he didn't end up a couple laps down there throughout those green flag pit stops, I feel like we could have saw him in that juke joint ride work himself up inside the top 10, maybe even closer to a top 5, where we see, Daniel Dow, Nathan Nixon right outside the top 5, Neil Lapidus there as well, as he was right there, just inside the top 5 himself. Man, a great run for the 26 ride as the OSOC Outdoor Suncom Machine coming home in position number 6 tonight. So good shot for him as Gardner still celebrating out there. Going to do another victory lap, another Polish victory lap out there on the speedway. We'll get ready to pull him into the booth here. Get ready to pull our top 3 up in here as, there we go. Let's jump into there. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our race winner, Nick Gardner, waiting patiently here in victory lane and on the front straightaway. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth here on the evening. Woo, man, what a run, what a race for him. Let's pull him up here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Nick, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Nick, man, what a run, what a race, brother. Take us through this one as Sai hanging strong for quite a while here in this race, battling tough out there throughout the, middle of the top 10 for a lot of this race, and then later on we see some green flag pit stops, an untimely caution flag for a lot of those other competitors, but a great caution flag for herself as that kind of traps them back there behind you. You get virtually a free pass down pit side where they all have to take the wave around. They're trying to get back onto the lead lap, and then we see all this carnage ensue late in this race, knowing that all you really had to do is just kind of keep hitting these restarts, get that caution flag, roll for a few laps, click more laps down here, and slowly but surely we get to that final restart where you're able to get a good jump, a good run, and open up a great advantage between yourself and Austin Gustafson and Chris Gilbert, Michael Madden as they duked it out for position number 2. You were able to just cruise home here for the win at Richmond Raceway, man. Take us back through this race and what was going through your mind there as that caution flag was thrown during those green flag pit stops.
Yeah, man, I didn't really know what to think. Obviously I had a top 5 truck. I didn't think I was gonna win it. Those guys, Nick and Jacob and Chris, Michael, they were your top 4. I mean, they were actually really good all night. So I figured I was just gonna finish top 5 tonight, and I just kind of that was the boat I was gonna take, and so yeah, that last green flag run, I decided to do something a little different. I was actually going to me and Austin were gonna run the same strategy. We were just gonna run it out till it was bone dry, come in and top it off and go out, or maybe even just take 2 tires and go and just see where we end up. We were kind of willing to take that risk, and I told him, I was like, man, the leaders just pitted and we just lapped him. It'd be crazy if a caution came out, and no kidding, like I couldn't get it out of my mouth quick enough and the yellow came out, and I was like, oh my goodness. So it worked out for him. I know he got shuffled back there because of a restart, back to like 15th. So yeah, made ourselves around and got the lead there, and just try to keep trying to have a good restart and trying to let my teammate know when I was going to go. Obviously, I was trying to beat him, but I also wanted him to get a good finish too. And yeah, just duking it out to the end, man. And man, that was the hardest I ever driven all night. Just trying to drive away and set sail and try to win this thing in the final 20 laps.
Absolutely, definitely a tough one out there. So this is a very, very tough track. It's a very technical racetrack, and when it comes to passing or going door to door, especially on these restarts, it's a very, very, very tough thing to do here. And we saw, throughout the first bit of this race, we saw it very goodly done. We saw a lot of great racing out there. But these closing laps, when the pressure starts to build, everyone trying to get everything they can out of their rides, unfortunately, that's when a lot of mistakes are made. And you guys, had that strategy. It played out perfectly here for you, and you're able to put yourself in a position where you can kind of stay clear of all the contact and all the carnage there, where if you were still rolling, a little bit farther back there, we saw drivers, inside the top 4, top 5 there in these late race restarts, unfortunately have, unfortunate mistakes out there on the track where you just keep yourself in front of that stuff, man. Keep yourself out in front and away from all that carnage, and just being able to just stay clean out there is sometimes the best thing you can do on the speedway.
Yeah, honestly, that was the goal going in, and I actually did a little testing here. Short tracks aren't really my biggest thing, so I knew I'm okay at Richmond, so I at least wanted to just get a good good points night, maybe lead a few laps to get those bonus points, stay up front, stay out of trouble, get the 0x bonus, and I did. I mean, everything was going well, and then it went from well to great, and I honestly, I really can't believe it. Literally, if you're in the right place at the right time, sometimes it works out for you, and I did not have the best car tonight. I don't think that I would have won. I believe I would have finished probably about 5th or 6th. But yeah, I mean, that caution just came out at the right time, and sometimes you get lucky, and you gotta take those ones when you can, especially when you got a road course next week.
Absolutely, brother, and we know that you're pretty good at those road courses as well, so we may see you back up here in the broadcast booth. As man, what a run, what a drive here for yourself, though, tonight, man. Being able to play the strategy perfectly and put yourself up here into victory lane in that Napa Auto Parts number 16 ride, and trying to build those points, trying to put yourself into position for another attempt at a championship, as you were right there last season looking to try to get it done and have such a great playoffs and such a great season last year, looking to try to get things rolling here in this one, as a few tough races, a few good finishes, not quite the finishes you're hoping for, but you're getting that monkey off your back and really starting to build that momentum here for the HCK Beagles.
Yeah, that's pretty much the goal. Obviously, when you start a league back up and everything, and obviously, I got through this one. I just wanted to get through this short track deal. Obviously, we got the road course. Middle House kind of like a short track road course. It's kind of odd, not a lot of room. So that'll definitely be interesting. I'll probably end up going and practicing that one a little bit. Then you hit a couple decent tracks. Auto Club is really fun. iRacing Super Speedway, Iowa. So all those tracks coming up are really fun. I'm just glad to get one out of the way early and hopefully start racking up some bonus points and getting a good position myself well enough for these playoffs. It's I came really close last year, and hate it that I came up that short, but it was really fun, and I'm hoping to duke it out and do it again.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see how it all plays out for you. But we saw a great race here tonight for you in a picture-perfect turn of events here throughout this race. And being able to put yourself into victory lane, able to do that. Alan Kwiecki, Polish victory lap that he was so famous for. And, rest in peace, Alan Kwiecki. And always, we see Chase Elliott doing that. We see you doing it here as well. We saw it there at Texas last year in the playoffs, mirroring that same finish here as you were able to push yourself up into the top spot, into victory lane. Nick, who'd you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here on the evening?
Yeah, man. Just of course thank my wife for letting me come on here and race with the guys, and taking my time out of my full-time job and coming home and to be able to get on here. So really appreciate her. Appreciate my teammate, Austin. You know, we worked well together. Dennis was here. I don't know where he went, but yeah, me and Austin worked well all week. Honestly, did a little testing, so I was happy that the testing paid off for him. He deserves it. And yeah, so thank him for being a good teammate. Thank Gregory and Kevin and those guys. Obviously, what they do with this league, I know they continually put in the work to try to make this a fun league. And obviously, you and the broadcast. I love going back and watching the races and listening to you commentate these things, man. I think you kill it every time. You're fun to listen to, man. So appreciate you taking your time out and coming out here and broadcasting these races with us, man. It's really cool. So thank you.
Absolutely, brother. It's my pleasure. It's always such a blessing and such a great thing to finish off one of my days as well, to be able to watch you guys duke it out there on the racetrack. See you guys battle and put everything you got, not only into your racing craft, but your sim craft as well and everything else, man. And seeing how some of these drivers can grow enormous lengths throughout a season, and seeing you guys be able to pick up wins, get the finishes you deserve. Obviously, I want to see every one of these drivers in victory lane, but it's always good when we see you up here as well, Nick, as you're able to get another one here in this one. Put that 16 right back up into the top spot. Congratulations on the race win, and we hope to see that momentum being built. More and more trips up here into the broadcast booth throughout the rest of the season.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. It's like I said, it's good to get one early, and hopefully we can continue the momentum and see what we'll do at the road course. I know that's going to be a tricky one, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, brother. Good luck out there, and hopefully we'll be talking to you right up here again.
All right, man. Looking forward to it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Nick Gardner. Is Nick coming home in the top spot, picking up the checkered flag and parking that 16 right up here in victory lane, as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the 15 right of Michael Madden. Madden coming home in position number 2. We'll get ready to pull him up into the broadcast booth here himself, as Madden coming home in second. Let's see what he's going to say about this one. Hey, Michael, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
I got you, man.
Michael, brother, a good run, a good race here for you in this one, man. We saw you battling up through the field slowly but surely. Crank yourself up into the top 3, and then late in this race, you're making some moves. You get up into second here. You're trying to battle and hunt down Jacob Grube, and then all of a sudden, some green flag pit stops kind of start coming out here, and we see some different strategies being played. You drivers staying out there a little bit longer, and that caution flag unfortunately coming out a dagger into the heart of a lot of you guys, as you guys got trapped down a lap there, and unfortunately had to get that wave around back onto the lead lap. It kind of shuffled you back into about that 8th, 9th position once again, but you're able to just kind of stick with it and stay out of some of the carnage, as we saw a few drivers there right out of those final couple restarts go around, have issues down through 1 and 2. You're able to avoid them and put yourself back up here into that second spot late in this race, and there's unfortunately not enough time to hunt down that 16 machine.
Yeah, man, it was just a fight all night to get track position. Track position was huge. I knew there was a caution coming. I had a feeling me and Dow were going back and forth on the radio about what lap to come in. My gut told me 150, then I saw the leader pit, and I was like, man, we can't be, we got to go with him, because I felt like I had enough long run speed, but cutting it with 25 was going to be tough, but I didn't want to, it was rocking a hard place, man. Those decisions suck. And then you get the caution that comes out right after it. We had a long run long run truck all night. So it just didn't have enough time to get to Gardner. But if we had another 15, maybe even 10 laps, I think I would have tracked him down. I was putting everything I had, just jockeying for position on the restarts and making sure you don't get wrecked is tough. A lot of hard racing tonight, a lot of tempers flaring, man, and it gets a little heated underneath the VR sometimes. So, but I'll take P2, and I felt like I could. I definitely had a truck to win. I was competitive. I just needed to stay up front longer, learn some stuff, and like I said, I had a good long run truck, just not a good short run truck.
Absolutely. It's been the storyline of the evening. We heard it early on from, we had Jacob Grube up in here as our or not our pole sitter, Nicholas Snyder up here as our pole sitter, and he talked about it, knowing that, track position is going to be key to have a good run here at the Speedway, and being able to just kind of stay out in front of people as it's so tough to pass, and we saw that even here with you late in this race, trying to, get around Chris Gilbert. Luckily enough, Gilbert got super loose, opened up the door for you and Austin to get around him, and then you had the battle there for 3 or 4, maybe 5 laps to finally get around that 9 ride of Austin Gustafson. Once you did, it kind of gave Nick there just that bit of a gap that he needed to keep you back there at bay. Do you think maybe if passing was a little bit easier, I don't know what you might have needed to be able to make those passes quicker if they're on the Speedway, you think if you would have been able to get around the 9 ride a little bit sooner, that you might have had that opportunity, that extra little bit of clean air to try to hunt down that 16?
Definitely had to start up front. Yeah, if I started up front, I would have had a better position to at least go after Nick there at the end. But yeah, you had to be on top, man. You had to make passes up top, and really, you couldn't really make any passes on the bottom until later into the run, and you might be able to set somebody up. I found a good line out of 1 and 2 to give me a good run down the back to set me up at 3 and 4. But yeah, you really had to be on the top on the restarts, especially when everybody had fresh tires, to really kind of cut down their way up to the wall, and that way you get a run down the back or the front. So I was just trying to put my truck in position to be patient, to be on the top, and it kind of worked out there because you got so loose coming off of each corner on the bottom. You couldn't really get the rubber down to get the grip to go. So grip was tough to find tonight, and just yeah, man, good job for Nick making the right strategy call, because us Rev boys can't get a call in either league we're doing right now. So it's one of those things. The tide will turn eventually, but it was it's gotta come at someday, man. We gotta hit this right nail on the head right one time. But we'll stack the penny tonight, and we'll keep it going, man. I think I'm leading the points still, so that's a good thing when you're leading the points.
Absolutely. It's always good when you're leading the points and when you can come home still in second place and still, extend that points lead a little bit more as well. As a good day at the Speedway. As much as you want to be up in victory lane, and be pretty happy with that second place run and all those points. But Michael, you pull it up here onto the podium. Who would you like to thank for another strong run and another strong performance here in the HCK Beagles Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series?
Yeah, always got to thank Sparkle Shine, Sean, and all those guys, everything they do for me, anything you see, the Rev crew. We're going to get one. All of us are going to get one. I have a good feeling about the pace we'll have next week. At least one of us will. I'll put my bet on Sean Jensick right now to get the win next week. But, yeah, man, just want to thank those guys for everything they do, and really just the league in whole, and yourself for putting up with us. And just want to thank everybody for watching, the MM15 crew. Appreciate you tuning in every week, and we'll go get them next week.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see you out there on the Speedway and battle in there. I do believe we're going to a road course, so going to be a little bit of a different style for a lot of these guys. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of craziness, and hopefully we can see this momentum continue on for you. Hopefully maybe the right couple strategy calls and see you one spot better and up in victory lane yourself.
Yeah, man, no shot next week. I'll give that one to Jensick. He's going to kill us. But listen, I'll take a top 5. If you told me I'll get a top 5 right now, I'll take it to the bank. So hopefully that will happen next week, but we'll see.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing how it all plays out for you. Good luck out there. Have fun, and congratulations again on the second place run here tonight.
Appreciate you, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Michael Madden. Madden coming home in position number 2. A very strong run, a very strong race there for the 15 machine as he comes home in second. We'll get ready to pull our third place finisher now up into the broadcast booth, the 9 ride of Austin Gustafson coming home here in position number 3. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Austin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Austin, man, a great run, a great race here for you as you and your teammate Nick Gardner play a little bit of strategy game late in this race. A lucky break as the caution flag flies. You guys are able to gain a ton of track position, and you're able to make a count here on those closing restarts. Obviously, we saw a lot of contact and cautions back there behind you guys, and you guys are able to just hit your P's and Q's here in those closing laps. You're able to battle tough with Michael Madden and Chris Gilbert and still bring that 9 home with a a very solid top 3 run on the evening, man. Take us back through it, and what was going through your mind there in these those restart after restart after restart late in this race, and having a battle with so many great competitors around you.
Yeah, man, we got pretty lucky with that caution, and it brought me and him up to first and third. And through those restarts, I started to struggle for grip, and I have no idea what happened. I had a lot of damage on the front end, so that probably contributed. But yeah, I was getting a little nervous there, starting on the outside, not what I wanted, but I was able to clear the 15 and the 45 a couple of times, and I just struggled for grip, and they were able to pass me. But yeah, it worked out for me and Nick. We put a lot of practice into this, and I'm glad he was able to walk away with a win. Yeah, his great pit call. He was talking about it. They had pitted 2 laps early. He was talking about it, and boom, the caution came out, and we were in first and third.
Absolutely, that's what he said too. That it was basically he couldn't get the words out of his mouth quick enough. And talking about, it'd be funny if the caution flag was thrown as you guys were lapping what were the rank's leaders, and all of a sudden, bam, the caution flag does get displayed, and I'm sure that was a pure moment of bliss for him, as that gave you guys all that track position, put him onto the front row with you right there as well, and then you guys just kind of went to work here late in this race, and slowly but surely, as those laps got clicked down, and then that final 8-lap run, he was able to drive away and put himself up into victory lane, and you were able to battle tough here and keep yourself there in third, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
I just got to thank Nick for, he put me up there. He helped me all week long, and yeah, first thank Nick. Got to thank my parents for giving me all this stuff to race with. I'm very grateful for that. I got to thank Gregory and all the guys that put this league on and work, all week getting this ready and the setups and all that. So super grateful for all those guys. I'm happy to run this series every week, and yeah, it's a blast.
Absolutely, definitely a blast out there on the racetrack with the HCK Beagles Truck Series. And we saw you all night long, and we saw you right in the thick of things here throughout this one, man. We talked to Michael and Nick about how tough it is to get around this speedway, man. Take us kind of through it here, and through a run, how quickly these tires fall off, and how difficult it is to really make passes and gain track position out there on the speedways. It's so key here to be up towards the front of the field here in one of these races at Richmond.
Yeah, track position is super important. It's a lot like Martinsville. You get cycled to the front, and you kind of stay there. Not a lot of options to pass. Cutting through 1 and 2 at the end is super important to get a run off the corner, and staying on the bottom at 3 and 4 super important, and letting it glide up the track just when it wants to, because the back end wants to snap around all the time. So yeah, track position is super important. Just staying up front. Don't really have to block a whole lot because there's not a lot of options. But yeah, the tire fall off is the right sides fall off pretty quickly, and you gotta back your corner up a good bit sometimes to save those. But yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you're able to hit your marks here throughout the evening. Keep that truck, for the most part, pretty clean out there on the speedway, but you're able to pull it up here inside the top 3. Maybe a little bit of momentum builder, not only for yourself, but your team here as well, as you guys come home 1 and 3 here on the speedway. Austin, congratulations on the great run, the solid top 3 performance here at Richmond, and hopefully we'll see you back out here, or maybe back up inside the broadcast booth next week, as we head to a road course next week. So a little bit of a total opposite end of the spectrum here between the short track racing to the road course racing style that we'll see next Tuesday.
Yes, sir, brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the 3rd place run.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Austin Gustafson, as he comes home here in position number 3. A great run and a great drive out of that number 9 machine, as these drivers duked it out all evening long. A lot of bumping and banging late in this race. We saw some good green flag runs earlier on, though, man. We saw some great green flag runs. One full cycled green flag pit stops there. Caution flag came out almost right after everyone came down pit side there, and then obviously we saw that second set of green flag pit stops kind of really mix things up there, and that allowed Nick Gardner and Austin Gustafson to come home with some very solid runs here on the evening, coming home in 1st and 3rd on the speedway. So huge congratulations to those guys. Huge congratulations to Michael Madden coming home in 2nd. Chris Gilbert, Jacob Grube able to kind of rebound from their mistakes and getting tied up in some incidences out there on the speedway to come home with top 5s. Neil Lapidus able to come home in that 6th position, and Daniel Dow, Nathan Nixon there in 7th and 8th as well. We saw Nathan Nixon battling, a lap down or 2 laps down for a lot of this race and be able to come home still in the top 10 is a miraculous feat there. And obviously our pole sitter, Nicholas Snyder, started off so well, ran a lot of laps at the front of the field, up inside the top 3. Unfortunately, he was one of those drivers that got shuffled back throughout that caution flag during green flag pit stops, and then got tied up. Heavy contact there on one of those wrecks late in this race, and unfortunately has to settle in for a 9th place finish in a car that could have potentially ended up in victory lane here this evening. And then Jason LePan rounding out our top 10 in the Michaels Warrior Project number 20 ride. Huge shout out there to Michaels Warrior Project coming on board once again as one of our main sponsor here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series. And a huge shout out to all of you guys, the fans in the stands here, tuning in all evening long. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning in here throughout the evening and cheering on these amazing drivers. And a huge thank you to all the new followers and subscribers here on Peacemaker Gaming as well. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. As if you guys haven't, make sure you guys do those steps right there, man. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll be back in action tomorrow night around 9 o'clock Eastern time. I believe we are heading to Darlington in the NASCAR Cup Series as our Slingshot Sim Racing Series that mirrors the NASCAR Cup Series. We are in our final race of the regular season tomorrow night for that series, so it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of crazy action, last-ditch efforts for drivers to make it into our NASCAR playoffs tomorrow night. So make sure you guys tune into that one. That way you guys never miss any of the racing action. Turn those bell notifications on. But listen, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. What a run, what a race, what a drive. That was a ton of fun, man. That was a lot of fun. Woo! What a race.